Hi everyone. Today I would like to share my first time experience on doing a SMD soldering. So I've actually designed this board here. I've sent the design to a PCB fab in China, and I did not actually take their service of assembling the components on the board. That's simply because of cost reason. The cost to produce this board, I make about 10 pieces of them. This is actually a first run prototype. It costs about 20 US dollars. And to actually place the components, that will cost about 60 or 70 US dollars. And that haven't even include the cost of the component. So I've actually watched quite a number of videos online, and I think it shouldn't be too much of a problem doing it on my own. So the first method that I could do is, of course, to use the soldering iron, like how we would normally do on a through-hole components. Well, because there are quite a number of small elements here where the pitch is less than 1.5 mm, and I think it is actually quite difficult to use the soldering iron and hand solder it. At least I would not like to attempt that. And so the second method is to put it in the oven or a hot plate where all the solders on the pad will be melt all at once. This is normally how it is done commercially, but because this is my first time doing it and I'm not very familiar with how the solder will actually reflow, and I think it's best that I avoid this approach. So the approach that I will do is to use the hot air reverb station. Basically what it does is that it can blow out hot air, and what I will do is that I will heat up the components as well as the solder, and I hope that the solder will reflow and then the components will actually go into place. So I did all this on video, and let's see how my first attempt turned out to be. The first step is to apply soldering flux. Normally people would use flux pen, but I don't have that, so I use the solid one that I can find, and I'll just use my finger to apply them. Soldering flux is very crucial in any soldering work because it is a cleaning agent. It ensures that the solder will reflow properly and the bond is well formed. Next, I will apply solder paste to all the pads on the board. I bought the solder paste in a small container, so I'll just use a tiny screwdriver that I have and try to work with it. Some people I know use toothpick, and that should also work fine. It is better to use a stencil. A stencil is basically a metal sheet with holes at the pad so that you can apply the paste all over, but I don't have that, and it's actually quite expensive to make one. Then next, I will place all the components onto the board, and I make sure that the solder paste actually touching the leads of the component. After that, I fire up my hot air reworking station and let it reach the temperature of about 320 degrees Celsius. Then I start to place it near the components and started melting the solder paste. And as you can see, when the solder paste is melted, the components will actually fit into place. I've already placed the airspeed the lowest, but it seemed still to be too strong, and sometimes the component swim or float away. And I have to use the tweezer to adjust it back into position. And finally, I use a magnifying glass to check that all the components are joined properly and there's no bridging of the legs. And this is especially important in those components that have a very close pitch. Unfortunately, there is several bridgings on the micro USB pin, and I have to heat it up again, remove the micro USB port, use a solder wick to clean it, and then after that repeat the steps again. So after this, it seems to be fine. And if you haven't tried SMD soldering, give it a try because it is actually easier than what many people would expect it to be. So that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching.